Hey guys, LevelCap here, and welcome to another episode of This Week in Gaming. The big January Battlefield 1 patch is finally here. It includes the remaining Turning Tides DLC content, the long-awaited Time to Kill rebalance, and a laundry list of tweaks to the game. I did a video going into detail about the TTK changes, so be sure to check that out. Overall, the Assault class is now more dangerous in close quarters, medics have more accuracy and damage over range, support players have higher damaging weapons and more power at long range, especially if they have time to set up their bipods, and finally the Scout class, well, the Scout class is unchanged, but it's still incredibly good as it was before. This is easily one of the biggest balance patches for Battlefield 1 since launch. And if you would like an updated video showing off what some of the new best weapons are after the patch, check out the video I did yesterday. Now, during an investor call, EA confirmed the delay of Anthem into 2019 to make room for the next Battlefield launch, which has been announced for a late October release. They haven't confirmed what kind of Battlefield game we're getting though. Rumors that the game could be Bad Company 3 or World War II or even a type of post-apocalyptic Battlefield game have been circulating for quite some time. Nothing has really solidified any of these rumors. EA also confirmed that the explosion of Battle Royale games hasn't gone unnoticed by the Battlefield development teams. While it's unlikely that we'll see a standalone Battlefield Battle Royale style game modes that borrow from the genre will probably make their way into future titles, hopefully Battlefield 2018. EA also confirmed paid microtransactions are coming back to Battlefront 2 at some point in the next few months. The game was met heavily with criticism at launch for its inclusion of paid loot boxes and a progression designed to force players into buying them. The situation got bad enough that DICE disabled the paid side of microtransaction system, but kept the progression-based loot boxes. Since then, they've promised an overhauled progression system and more to help fix the game's grindy nature. As for the future of EA-published Star Wars title, the company has not decided when Battlefront 3 will be released. It's likely that their next Star Wars title will be the one Titanfall developer Respawn Entertainment is working on, which we may see in holiday season of 2019. We'll just have to wait and see. In PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds news, the developers are working on making the desert map more enjoyable. They added more buildings and cover throughout the map to cut down on those broad open areas. They also added more off-roading routes across the map and upgraded the loot spawns in certain areas. The devs are also testing a new anti-cheat client that will block third-party programs from hooking into the game. One such program, Reshade, has been used by many players since the game's launch, with Brendan Green himself approving of its use. It allows players to apply sharpening and saturation adjustments to the game, which makes other players and environmental details stand out more. The new anti-cheat system will primarily block programs that modify gameplay or visuals in any invasive way. Only time will tell what this means for the future of PUBG and Reshade, but if it has a significant effect, chances are Reshade will not be coming back at any point in the near future. The latest Xbox One patch for PUBG brought some big changes to vehicle damage. Vehicles now take increased damage from gunfire and grenades. The driver and passenger in a vehicle will also take increased damage from crashes. Ubisoft revealed more details about the upcoming Year 3 Season 1 content for Rainbow Six Siege. Operation Chimera will include 2 new operators and the Outbreak event. Outbreak will cover 3 custom maps designed for 3-player co-op. These maps will be more open and linear than existing PvP maps and feature large outdoor sections. As for what exactly you'll be fighting on these maps, players will be pitted against 5 different varieties of alien parasite infected humanoids. Outbreak will run for a period of 4 weeks and features 2 different levels of difficulty. Whether or not the map and modes will be available after the 4 weeks passes has not yet been clarified. A new trailer for Insurgency Sandstorm has been released that features new gameplay footage. Highlights include a new door breaching mechanic and vehicle combat. Visually, the gameplay does look impressive, though it is somewhat unclear what's actually in-game and what is pre-rendered cutscenes. The closed alpha for Crytek's upcoming Battle Royale shooter Hunt Showdown is underway. Initial reviews seem very favorable, but many of them are citing performance issues as a huge problem. Some players have little to no issues running the game, while it stutters and freezes constantly for others. That said, the game is still very early in development, and it's likely we'll see a lot of optimization made over time. Battalion 1944's early access launch had a rough start due to greater than expected player counts. The developers have pushed an update to alleviate some of the issues that caused this, with bigger improvements to come as servers are added for the game. When it comes to launch issues, I suppose having more players than expected is probably one of the better problems to have. Far Cry 5's Season Pass is promising some pretty bizarre DLC options. It'll include 3 DLCs, each with a unique location and premise. The first one will be set in Vietnam, where you fight the Viet Cong. The second will have you fighting off zombies. And the final one will take place on Mars, where you fight alien spiders. The Season Pass will also include a free copy of Far Cry 3. Red Dead Redemption 2 has been delayed again. Rockstar's hugely anticipated Western will now launch on October 26th. The delay was made to further polish the game. Unfortunately for PC players, no word on a PC port for the game has been made. Sales of the Nintendo Super NES Classic Edition have passed 4 million units sold. The mini retro console includes 21 classic games, including the previously unreleased Star Fox 2. While availability of the SNES Classic Edition has been pretty limited, it's not been nearly as hard to find as Nintendo's previous Classic Edition mini console, the NES Mini. In more modern console hardware news, the PlayStation 4 is on track to surpass sales of the PlayStation 3. Over the holiday season alone last year, the PlayStation 4 sold over 9 million units, bringing its total units sold up to 76 million. The PlayStation 3 sold around 83 or 86 million over its entire lifetime. That still pales in comparison to the original PlayStation sales of over 103 million units and barely half of the PlayStation 2's 155 million units sold. It's still impressive for a console that's only been around for 4 years though, and also those earlier units weren't competing as heavily with the Xbox. Anyway, that wraps it up for today's episode of This Week in Gaming. Let me know in the comments which story you like the most, or if there's some other cool story you think I should have covered. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap, signing off.